Hey, Bill, the opportunity to play the number one team in the country, obviously a big deal, but also a chance to get closer to a bowl eligibility. Does that even make it like another level more of a challenge in some ways?
Yeah, I would say, it's a great opportunity. I think obviously as you get into November, you get to the end of the season, in these games, every game is more important, and this one's, the biggest one because it's the next one. And I think, everyone in the building, everyone in the facility from, top down, whether it's the coaches or the players kind of know, what a good opportunity we have in front of us. And, we're in here in November. The season's gone as it has, up until this point. And, right now we have a great opportunity in front of us. So why not, put the best week of practice together, put the best game plan together, and, go out there and execute and see what we can do. So I think it's just a great opportunity that, a lot of the guys we're all just trying to embrace. Talking to yesterday at breakfast, talking to Coach Thompson, he was like, not many times in my career have I gotten the opportunity to, play the number one team in the country. He's like, sometimes I've been on the number one team, but not many opportunities to go against, the number one team in the country, the best team in the country right now. So it's a great opportunity. We're all excited for it. Looking forward to going up there, being in a great environment. Great crowd. Obviously their first year in the Big Ten. So I think we're all just excited for it. Like I said, we got to put a good week of practice together. Obviously, a good week and a half coming off the bye week, being able to steal a few extra days there, and go to Eugene and see what we can do.
What have the conversations been like with Locks over the last couple of weeks? I don't know if by asking about your interceptions, has that been the conversation also kind of limit those turnovers and that kind of deal?
Yeah, I would say just the main point of the conversations with him, and even on the bye week, obviously I was able to get away, go home, go watch my brother, get away for a few days. But I think the biggest thing for me is just owning, controlling what I can control, right? In the sense of, Coach Locke's always talk about as a quarterback, you got to be able to mitigate risk. Whether it's a good play, bad play, you can't make it worse. So obviously those turnovers, we've talked about, but from August 1st to when we started practicing, now the conversation and the message has been the same, in terms of just, as the quarterback, as the leader of the offense, the play starts with me and ends with me. So I just got to make sure I continue to do to the best of my ability, owning my grid, as he'd say, controlling what I can control. I feel like if I can, continue to get back at that and continue to own that, then, I'll put the offense and, the team in the best position to be successful when the play call comes in. So that was just the biggest thing, between those conversations and between the conversations I have with myself when going back, over the bye week and be able to watch the past couple of games offensively and see what we did well and what we need to get corrected. Just going back to the basics for me of just continuing to own my grid, control what I can control, whether that's not making a bad play worse or taking a shot, taking an opportunity when the one presents itself. It's just getting back to that and just making sure I focus on what I can control and do that to the best of my ability, and then the bigger things will take care of itself.
Billy, Oregon's defense kind of under the radar this season when you look at all the firepower they have on offense, but they're third in the Big Ten in defensive passing efficiency, third in the conference in sacks as well. What do you from what you've seen on tape, what do you have to be more concerned with this Friday with the stuff they throw at you?
Yeah, I think across the board, whether it's up front or back in the secondary, they're very very, very talented, very, very skilled. They have a lot of experience. With some guys that have gotten in the transfer portal or guys that have been there the past couple of years under that, defensive coordinator and head coach's scheme. I think the biggest thing, being able to get a beat on them. They're going to do. They're very good at what they do, and they're going to line up and do what they do. Obviously, they come kind of from an SEC defensive, family tree, if you would say. So, they have some different schemes, some complicated schemes that they run very well. So getting a beat on that, trusting the game plan, knowing, obviously for me individually, making sure I watch the tape and know, kind of be prepared for what's going to come. And there's, I'm sure there'll be new stuff that they won't have shown all year. But I think the biggest thing that, with the message offensively with, between me and Coach Locks and the offense and the team is just, our playmakers are going to have to show up. They're very skilled on the outside, in the secondary. They're very big, strong, physical up front, do a great job of stopping the run game and, the different kind of looks or fronts they'll give up there. But, I kind of say the same thing every week, but this week even more, right? It's going to come down to execution and, our playmakers, including myself, are going to have to show up and make plays. And this is the week where, you get an opportunity at the number one team in the country, a top 5 defense in the country that we got to go out there and execute. And, there's going to be times where it's going to be a one-on-one matchup and, the best decision for me is going to be able to give Ty or KP or Octavian Smith Smith a chance at a one-on-one, and I'm going to have to give them a good enough ball, and then they're going to have to go make the play. So I think that's the biggest thing for us is just the execution piece of it, and then knowing that, it's going to take playmakers making plays, and I think all our guys offensively are excited for that opportunity to go against, the best of the best and see what we can do.
Just like last year, you guys enter November with the opportunity to play for postseason play. You can't, lock it down this week, but the road is out there for you guys to take. How did last year having to, win in November to assure eligibility, bowl eligibility, how has that helped you guys this year in the mindset moving forward?
Yeah, I'd say, the Big Ten play, it's going to be, once you get into Big Ten play, it's going to be a dogfight regardless of the week, regardless of the opponent, home or away. And, getting into November, the state that we're in right now as the season has gone along, that, I think we have a lot of talented players that have been here for the 3 straight bowl games that have had to go, had to scrap and fight to get to that 6th, 7th win, the 8th win in the bowl games. So I think we all kind of know, we all know what's at stake, and we all know that every game in November is, even more important than the games earlier in the season. And, we got 4 great opportunities, staring in front of us. And I think right now we're all, everyone in that building, including myself, is focused on this one right in front of us. It's the biggest one, like I said, because it's the next one. And, we obviously want to continue, have the opportunity to go to a bowl game and continue our season there into December and January. And we know that, we got to get to the next 4 for that to be a possibility. And right now we're focused on this one. So I think it's definitely, creates more, a bigger sense of urgency. But I think we have a lot of guys, older guys that have, been to bowl games and have been here where we've had to lay the foundation to make it to 3 straight, kind of know what it's going to take. So I think we're all just, we're all excited for the opportunity, as an older player, getting those young guys, up and excited and kind of ready and prepared for what November football and the Big Ten is going to bring. Obviously, we got to travel to the West Coast. We got to go to a completely different environment. Things of that nature comes into play when you play in November in the Big Ten. So I think we're all excited for the opportunity, and we know obviously we got to get 2 more, and we got a huge one this week that we're all putting our best foot forward in, and putting all the time and effort that we can go out there and have a good chance on Saturday.
Hey, Billy. Rare to have a second bye week in a season like you guys have this year. Has anything felt different this week in terms of preparation and just the game planning and going through everything than it did just a month ago when you guys had the first one?
Yeah, I would say a little bit, just definitely with offensively, just, I think spend it a similar way in terms of going back, individually looking at, what I can improve on, especially from the last 3 to 4 weeks after that first bye week. But definitely, I think the biggest thing is it helps with the bodies. Obviously, right, we're playing 12 games. Getting the 2 bye weeks gets a lot of guys, chances to get their bodies right, including myself, get a few days off to where we can rest, recover, get our minds away from football for a little bit. But I think, it gave us another chance to kind of sit back, reflect, everyone get a chance to look in the mirror, and then also, look forward at, the opportunities that we have in front of ourselves for the last 4 weeks of the season in November. And, we have a lot of good opportunities. I think a lot of guys spent it right, getting away from here, getting able to get their mind outside of football, get their bodies right. And now, we're back in here, and we're in here for the last, 4 final games of the regular season in hopes to make a bowl game. So I think it was good. I think, definitely there wasn't too much of a difference between the first bye week, but I think where we are now and where we are before the first bye week, I think there was definitely a good, we were able to have a good mindset shift, you could say, and knowing that, we got a tough stretch for those last 4 games, and, we have some good opportunities. So why not, pick up the pieces, put them together, and see what we can do over the next 4 weeks.
And I know you said you went to Texas the first time around for some practice and some reps. Was that similar for you, or was this more just about being healthy and just taking rest time and stuff?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. I didn't go anywhere, out of town to work out. Obviously was up here all of last week, just trying to get my body right, going back and watching the last 4 games. Kind of, what I said earlier, just, figuring out how I can do a better job of just continuing to own my square, own my grid, control what I can control. And then it was good, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, was able to get out of here. I went down to Richmond, watched my brother's game, was able to go home and see my dog. Don't get many opportunities to do that. So I was able to get, a good mental reset, get out of here for a little bit. Obviously still watched football, was watching games on my phone while I was at my brother's game. So it was a good balance of just getting the body right, and then obviously getting, mentally being able to get away from here for a few days before we come back and, strap it up for the last 4 weeks.
Billy, in many circles, Oregon is regarded as a significant favorite Does that bother you and your teammates when you see that?
No, I would say, we're focused on what's inside the buildings. I think, you can say it always proves this extra motivation, to kind of be the underdog. But I think a lot of guys in those locker room, as well as Coach Locks, have always been the underdog, throughout their careers, throughout their lives. And I think, that's something that we find comfort in, having that chip on our shoulder mentality. But I wouldn't say we pay attention too much to the outside noise. I think, a lot of guys do a good job of just focusing on the task at hand, Monday through Friday to give us a chance to go out there and be successful Saturday. And I think that's, that is the same for this week. Even though, we're playing the number one team in the country, it's a big deal. It's a big game. I think we're all focused on what we can do, to give ourselves a chance to be successful against the number one team in the country. So I wouldn't say, we're too caught up in it. I think, it can prove as extra, motivation, but I think a lot of guys already have that motivation, within them, within the walls of JHH, knowing that, we got all we need in there and we're going to put together a great week of practice and go up there to Eugene and see what we can do.
With that in mind, then, is there a sense that maybe you and your teammates can play free, maybe uninhibited against the number one team?
You could say that. Yeah, I think Coach Locks' goal always, right, with players is just to let them play free. Obviously, the kind of phrase that gets thrown around, in my world is the flow state, right? At quarterback, when you get in that flow state, when you get some completions and things are just clicking and you have answers to stuff, then yeah, you're playing free. You're playing, you're playing fast. You're playing smart. You're not playing careless by any means, but you're able to go out there and just, it really takes you back to being a little kid playing football again. So I think a lot of guys, I have developed that confidence throughout the year and getting really good, meaningful game time experience, whether it's younger guys, older guys, to where, yeah, we're in November now, we're in game 9 or 10 to, where they can go out there and play free. And the coaches do a good job of instilling confidence in us so that we can go do it. And I think the other, flip side of that is it falls on us to continue to develop that confidence and keep it so that we can go out there and not be, hesitant or double thinking our moves and just go out there and play free. And when, everyone in that building plays free, we give ourselves a really, really good chance to be successful against, whoever we play. So I think that's just the goal for everyone this week. And, that starts with the preparation and the practice that we've been doing the last week. So we got to put together a few more good ones before we go up there. We'll get one there. And then, like I said, we'll have a good week of preparation, and then we'll go out there and play free Saturday and see what we can do.
Hey, Billy, what are your thoughts on the upcoming trip? Are there any logistical changes you're making, given that it's a cross-country trip?
I wouldn't say no. I know a lot of people inside the building that are there to help us are doing stuff to help us, trying to be proactive about it, get ahead. Obviously, this is my first time, going cross country to play a football game, so I'm sure there'll be things that I learned from this trip. But I think, whether it's our dietitian staff, our training staff, operational, whether it's, how we're traveling, they're doing a good job at being proactive about all that. Has spent a lot of time, a lot of money into this trip, giving ourselves the best chance at traveling, when to travel, how to make sure our bodies get adjusted, in the right time to give ourselves the best chance to go out there and play on West Coast time. So I wouldn't say there's anything I'm doing too much, for myself. But I know there are a lot of people, behind closed doors doing a lot of stuff for our team to give ourselves the best chance to go out there and, have to deal with the travel and be successful.
And then this season, there have been a bit of a trend, a recent trend of slow starts, falling into an early deficit. When it kind of keeps on happening, is there maybe a mental hurdle you players, you specifically just kind of have to take to where you don't fall into the same habit of, okay, we keep letting this happen, how do we get out of this? What mentally goes through your mind and how do you get out of that?
Yeah, I would say, obviously as a quarterback, the offense starts and ends with me. So mentally just obviously with Coach Jaron, right, when we talk before games, we don't ever want to have a feeling out period. We want to come out and let the thing rip from the first snap to the last. And I think offensively, whether it's whatever, there's many things we can look at. I think individually, me just knowing that, regardless of what the play's called, that I'm, I'm as locked in as I can be. I'm in my flow state because, like I said, it starts and ends with me. And, when I'm playing pretty good, about 99% of the time, the offense is playing pretty good, and we're able to make things happen. So I'd say, there isn't too much of a mental hurdle. I think it's more just a sense of urgency, especially with the older guys on the offense, between me, Ty Felton, Caden Prather, Roman Hemby, just, and us talking, knowing that, we got to come out guns a-blazing, and whether that's, take a shot to first play, run the ball, whatever it is, we got to find a way to go out there and start hot, especially the way our defense has been playing, to start hot and, give ourselves a chance to create that momentum, that kind of helps us, stay in it throughout the whole game. So I wouldn't say there's too much of a mental hurdle, just more of a sense of urgency, knowing that when we go out there, the game's only 60 minutes. Why waste it? We got to go out there and take advantage of it every time we get the ball. We got to go out there and do our best to execute the play and to create explosive plays and give ourselves a chance to score points. So I wouldn't say, not too much of a change up, just knowing that, we got to go out there and start fast and just continue to execute the plays that are called. Appreciate it.
Thank you.